Welcome to the Nowata Now Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Tucker. On today's episode, we're going to connect with Andy Sutton from the Nowata Fire Department. He's a volunteer firefighter and also is a mechanic for the city. On this podcast, we connect with the people behind the programs, movements, and policies that are impacting Nowata right now. So today on the show, like I said, we've got Andy. The fire department's been killing it. We were talking about this off camera. This summer, we had the great Nowata water fight where I was there filming. It was amazing. Andy, what was your experience with that, with the great Nowata water fight this summer?
It was something that a couple of the guys had went over and seen Chelsea do, and they came back and everybody just talked about how much fun it was. They raved about it for months. So we went out and done it. I had an absolute blast. I was on the fence. Are we going to have a lot of people show up, or is this going to, is it going to bust? It did not. It was absolute fun. We had people, I was walking through Homeland one day and we had somebody ask, can you do a back to school bash? The timing wasn't right. There was no way we could plan it in time, but It's something we might consider in the future, trying to do it more than once a year. Community involvement in it was just unreal.
It was so much fun. We connected with our mutual friend, Brandon Hahn. And, we had him on the podcast before, then him and I connected, and then I just came over by myself and was kind of running and gunning with everybody, getting some shots and hopping out and getting soaked myself. But there were people of all ages. I mean, there were, mamas holding babies, throwing water balloons in the other hand, and our elderly citizens across our community getting out and about. It was just feel good. And it just ignited the community.
A diaper trying to spray me with a water gun, just a little bitty water pistol. Yeah, he was trying his best. He wasn't getting me, but he was trying.
Yeah, I think I told you beforehand, but they were one of the flatbed trucks and somebody was up in the cage and I hop out and somebody threw a bucket at him. I was like, I don't know if that's the type of energy we're looking for. We appreciate the effort, but let's not injure our friends on the fire department. And it was really cool to see so many surrounding fire departments show up and help out.
Yes.
We have friends from all across Nowata County, as well as over in Chelsea, who kind of inspired the whole thing, like we've talked about. I know that we challenged, our friends in Washington County, where I'm from, over in Bartlesville. And I know that they got out and about this summer and went and sprayed the Boys and Girls Club while they were outside on the west side of town, as well as the Bruin football program up here at Bartlesville High School.
Yes.
They had it. So they had some real fun, and anything you could do to inspire other communities like that, to just get out and put your devices down and have some old school summer fun.
And that's just it. Let kids be kids and technology set aside for a moment.
For sure. And I know that kids out there across Oklahoma are starting school with the no cell bell to bell rule. So they're getting to live high school like I'm sure that you and I both did.
Yes. As a parent, I love it. I support it completely. My son, not so much.
Yes. It's so much better when you can just engage with people face to face and build relationships that way versus then, out there searching for likes and follows and getting shamed online, and it's just toxic. So I'm excited for our kids across our 77 counties in Oklahoma. Now, the fire departments can be busy raising money next month, September 20th. You guys are going to have the co-ed softball tournament fundraiser out there at the rec fields at Jack Gordon Park. Kind of what led to you guys creating this tournament, and what's it all about?
So I've got two daughters play softball. Garrett, the other host of this tournament, has three daughters, that play softball. It was something that had popped up on Facebook. Another fire department, I believe in another state, was doing it. And me and him talked about it and was like, why can't we do this here? We both love softball. We both played ball in school, and we find ourselves trying to find fundraisers that not everybody's doing, because I know, the high school kids, one month, this group's selling candy bars, and the next month another group selling the same candy bars. We're just trying to bring something new, something positive, and get the community to come out. The 4th of July, people come out and they support our fire department. We had a big fire last November. People showed up huge and supported the fire department. So I feel like we're blessed in that sense. We do get a lot of support. But at the same time, when we're on big fires, potentially we do a lot of damage and it gets costly. So to do a fundraiser like this, it helps us repair vehicles, replenish drinks, replenish high protein snacks, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So whenever the softball idea was brought up, it was a majority thing. I don't think we had one person say, no, let's look at something different, who don't enjoy, an evening at the ball fields.
For sure. And those are some of my favorite memories growing up, right? The big chew, big league chew,
Yeah.
just putting as much as you can in your mouth and then going out there. I mean, my dad always coached and, it was always parents. And those are some of the best memories growing up in America is just summer ball,
Yep.
softball or baseball.
Everybody wants to be Babe Ruth. Everybody wants to be Derek Jeter.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wants to play for Patty Gasso.
Yeah.
So
Shout out Patty Gasso. She's going to be
that's
coaching the
right.
U.S. Softball team and is so excited that we're going to host that in Oklahoma City in
Yes.
2028. That's going to be huge. Softball, we've been so blessed in Oklahoma. We've always historically had strong softball, especially at the high school ranks, and then working our
Yes.
way up to OU with Patty when she took over in the late 90s, early 2000s at OU. But man, it's just been so great for our young ladies out there to have somebody to aspire to go be like, because she's great on and off the field and is such a great leader.
Well, and it's time women's
Go ahead.
sports get the recognition they haven't gotten for years. And I think Patty's
For
a big
sure.
part in that.
For sure. I think the same thing about, women's soccer. I played soccer in college, played for the Bruins, was a kicker here in Bartlesville, and I love football, but soccer, like women's soccer has blown up too recently.
Yes.
And as well as women's wrestling, young
Yes.
women's wrestling is the fastest growing sport at the high school level here in Oklahoma right now. And it's so awesome to see our girls, like you're saying, in lacrosse. I know the Bartlesville and Nowata, we don't have lacrosse, but I know down Highway 169, our friends in Owasso, the Rams, they have ladies lacrosse there for high school girls. And we've just got to continue to expand opportunities where we can.
Yes.
So that we open those doors for young ladies to potentially pursue going to college and getting some things paid for their next step in their lives.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm with you. I have two little girls. We just did the third birthday for my oldest yesterday. So a little tired after cooking about 50 hot dogs out in the 150-degree weather.
Yeah, it was hot.
It was hot. It was hot. I recorded another one of my shows like right before, and it went over an hour. And I was like, "Yep, my to-do list just got a lot longer." I can tell you that when I finished up production on that, I was like, "Yep, I know this." So the softball tournament, $150 per team. Bring your own balls. So what's really cool is 7. So the setup is co-ed, 7 guys or 3 girls, or 6 guys and 4 girls. Talk to me about, so these bats. It's been a while since I was on the diamond there, and I was swinging a Hostess and Wonder bat because my dad worked for Wonder Bread. So it was just a free bat, and we were all shared it because we thought it was cool. But what are these SR League or Ultra bats?
Loaded bats, full composite bats. I'm not 100% sure. The senior league, I believe that's more of a church camp stuff or church team stuff. My understanding on it is like loaded bats.
Yeah. This might be when we were probably younger, in the late 90s when Sammy Sosa had the cork bat and he forgot to take it out of rotation from BP to the live game there at Wrigley up in Chicago. He did make it back. I don't know if you saw that this summer. For the first time in 20 years, he made it back to Wrigley and they welcomed him back. So that was pretty cool. What about home run bans? So you got $20 unlimited purchase before game time. So is that just because there is a home run limit, right? Like what we see in church league and also adult league. So what do those bans kind of do?
By a band, it doesn't stop. I believe it's six scores. It doesn't stop there. So if you're a stacked team, essentially, you go until they have 3 outs.
That's crazy. I can think back to being a kid in the summertime around here and going, and everybody's daddy would be playing in, men's league softball down there at our tune-off fields behind Dunges Stadium in downtown Bartlesville, and just going out there and waiting beyond the fences and catching them and taking back to get a snack at the concession stand there at the old complex. But there would be some guys, some people that might struggle to get around the bases, but by golly, they could hit it a country mile.
Yeah.
For sure. So, final thing we'll say on that is the umpire's call is final. So this is something I've had to learn later in life as a father of 2. I play in adult league soccer here in Bartlesville. We have a new league. And so I found myself a lot more chill than I was when I was in college. as the kids say. So, because when you're an adult, like it's different, like whoever's umping, like they got kids, they got bills to pay. It's 100 degrees. Like everybody's going to make mistakes. Let's just get out there, raise some funds for the boys in the big trucks and support our community out there.
Absolutely. I used to be the same way. I'd be hot headed with umps, and then I became an ump. And I coached a 12U softball team this year for my daughter, and then so called multiple games at Nowata. And I learned to just sit over there and bite my tongue whenever I didn't agree with the ump, because I was like, well, I've been there. Who does have final call on this? That's one thing in a pregame meeting we're going to make very clear. Ump has final call. You can argue till the cows come home. He'll eject you.
Yeah, because we're not out here. We're not qualifying for the 2028 LA Olympics to make our way in. We're out here to raise funds and to support the Nowata community. So, kind of looking at yourself and kind of we talked a little bit before we went live here, but what led you to become a firefighter?
As a kid, I grew up on a dead end road. My neighbor would pile up brush, and he'd light it. And every year it'd burn over onto our pasture. Every year, inevitably, the fire department was at our house. I used to think, man, that's the coolest thing in the world. I want to be them guys. I turned 18, put in an application. Short of the 4 years I moved away, I've been on the fire department ever since. There's no greater honor than helping your neighbor, helping your enemy. If we're going to be honest, I pulled up and I'm like, man, it's this guy. We're not even friends. But you walk away with a whole heart, just knowing on their worst day, you tried to make it better.
Yeah. And, anytime, in the fire department, you respond to all different types of calls, and you never know what you're going to show up to. Yeah. But it's having that grace and compassion, no matter, to your point, if it's somebody you like or don't like, you're responding to an emergency, and how you handle that's going to kind of help them get through those tough moments.
Yes. I've done CPR on family. I've been on wrecks, it'd be a good buddy's spouse or something. I've been on that. Best friend's house burning down, and you're doing everything you can, but just being there for somebody in their time of need, it's one of the greatest rewards.
What keeps you kind of, in that position of serving as a volunteer firefighter? Because, you have kids at home, like you talked about. What keeps you motivated to answer that call when your radio goes off?
The call before. I walk away from every call knowing I tried to make a difference, and that motivates me for the next one. My wife does an outstanding job. She's very supportive of it.
Mm-hmm.
She'll watch the kids, even if she's got her own plans. She'll make sure the kids are taken care of. And my kids love it. I got a 4-year-old, I guess 5-year-old daughter now that she'll tell anybody that, listen, my dad's a firefighter. And there's a lot of pride in that.
Yeah. And there should be, right? It's such an honorable role to take up. I know that you'd probably agree with me that, it was our elders who taught us about community service and that call to serve. And if we're going to live somewhere, we're going to go to church somewhere, we're going to be committed and be an active part of that community that we're in.
Yes.
So I know that we all appreciate, you boys keeping the community of Nowata safe. And I know over in Bartlesville, and Brandon and I talked about this, we're so blessed with Tri-County Tech to have the Firefighter 1 program.
Absolutely.
I know that stretched into the high school ranks. And so we continue to create that funnel of young men and young women who have that call to serve, either as full-time firefighters or volunteer firefighters like yourself. So speaking of community, so you were born in Nowata. So you went to Nowata High School. So you were an Ironman. So did you play football, basketball? Did you play any sports? Were you in ag or?
I was in ag. I played football a couple years. I was too busy chasing cattle and chasing money. Sports wasn't.
Yeah.
Sports was there. It just wasn't my forte. I'd rather chase a dollar.
Yeah. No, I get you with that. Now, I will say I'm hopeful that in the coming year or 2 years that the Ironmen get the chance to play in the Adam Hooper Bowl again against the Dewey Bulldoggers. Because when we were finishing up the new Nowata City website and we were putting the Ironmen's home schedule on the city calendar, I was looking at they were playing Warner in a non-conference, non-district game, and we Googled it on Google Maps, and it was like 141 miles away. And then I just Googled Dewey High School, and it was 21 miles away. And I was like, guys, what are we doing? This has been played for like 60 some years. My dad grew up, my dad and his dad went to Dewey, and that was, some of their biggest passion because they stopped playing Bartlesville in 1957. So we'll be on the 70th anniversary coming up where we haven't played each other between our two communities over here in Washington County. So I hope that comes back.
I do too. Not playing Dewey and not playing Veneta just
yeah,
doesn't feel right. I mean, they were our two longest rivals, and
yeah, and I can say from Dewey's perspective, like they played Miami for a long time, and the Miami got a little bit too big, right? They got up in 4A. But Nowata, you could always count on even when I was in high school over in Bartlesville, like if I looked at the local schedule for Mike Tupa in the Examiner Enterprise, it was going to be Nowata's playing Dewey, they're playing Veneta, and
Yep.
then whatever their district shook out to be for
Yes.
2-year cycle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope we get back to that for the Adam Hooper Bowl. Adam was such a good friend to all of us. Such a great human being, a huge heart. I love him, and we all still miss him and miss hearing "Good Night Nowata" when they punch it in there in the end zone.
It's not the same not hearing his voice.
Yeah, but miss him dearly.
He was a local legend for sure.
Miss that guy.
Yes.
So behind me, I don't think you can see, but I actually got an unopened VHS copy of the movie Possums that I found in Iowa on eBay. So why this person in Iowa had a copy of the movie Possums based in Nowata on a play-by-play announcer who called a fictitious season after the football team was canceled. The local Nowata football team was canceled in this movie. I don't know, but I'm glad they never opened it. So I hope that we'll have a movie downtown, partner up with some of our partners with the city so we can get that and have some cool content come out of there. So last question for you. Now, born and bred in Nowata, what has kept you in Nowata and kept you raising a family there?
Family roots. I mean, as far back as I know, my family's been here in Nowata. It's home. I've traveled the U.S. I've worked. I was talking about it the other day. I think it's like 46 states I've worked in. And I've seen beautiful country. But at the end of the day, this is my slice of heaven. My wife hates it. I go in the grocery store. I can go in for 2 things and it takes 45 minutes. We can't go out to eat somewhere that doesn't take an hour and a half. But this is my slice of heaven. This is home. Yeah, earlier this year, I went on a 7-day cruise. Had a blast. 3 days in, I was ready to be home.
Yeah.
I've been everywhere. I know that. Nowhere is Nowata.
Nowhere is Nowata. Let's go. I think you just created a new tourism campaign that will come out at a later date, and we will give a byline credit to our guy, Andy Sutton.
That'll work.
There we go. If our friends in leadership is listening, maybe a raise for our guy, Andy.
I'll support that.
You support that. But no, I know exactly what you're talking about because I was blessed to, be the first in my family to go to college and do all that stuff and play soccer. And then I traveled the world. And I think the last time I was over in Europe, I was at the airport there outside of Nice, kind of close by Monte Carlo from the old James Bond movies. And I was just sitting there thinking, man, I need to catch a flight back to New York and get back home to Oklahoma. Like I was so worn out. You see all the things you can in God's beautiful world that we have here. But there's nowhere like being able to walk in to grab a bite to eat or get your groceries and feel like everybody knows who you are and knows what you represent and what's important to you and know that they can count on you. And that's part of being part of a community and being part of a hometown. So Andy, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Nowata Now. We hope that everybody will get their friends, sign up to support the Nowata Fire Department for the co-ed softball tournament fundraiser on September 20th, which will be, like we said, at the Nowata Rec Ball Fields out there at Jack Gordon Park. So for Andy, I'm Anthony. We hope that you come visit us in Nowata, where welcome is our name. Have a good day.